This is a podcast from BFM 89.9, the business station.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Morning Run. It's 7:49. It's Monday, the 30th of June. And at this time, we turn our attention to what the government just announced, because in this July, the government will introduce the MyGOV Malaysia, a mobile application intended to centralise access to government services. According to our Digital Minister Gobind Singh Deo, the app will bring together 7 main functions, including travel, registration, driving, health, summon services, housing, and the Rama Cash contribution.
It will use MyDigital ID for secure sign-on as part of the government's plan to modernise public service delivery and reduce reliance on physical counters. However, can MyGOV Malaysia genuinely improve access for all citizens, including those with limited digital skills or connectivity? What challenges could arise in keeping the app reliable, secure, and protected from cyber threats?
For perspective, we speak to CF Fong. He is the CEO of Malaysian cybersecurity firm LGMS Berhad. Good morning, CF. Thanks for speaking to us. As you already know, we have plenty of apps and systems such as the MySejahtera and the central database hub Padu. We also have My Border, and then the list goes on. In your view, will this truly become an all-in-one government app? Or does it just risk ending up just being another underutilized platform?
Malaysia indeed has no shortage of apps, but what we are lacking of is a cohesive long-term digital framework. Now, without a clear foundation and roadmaps, now even the best apps will risk becoming fragmented or underutilized, as what we have witnessed. Now, for MyGov Malaysia to succeed, right, in my view, it must not be just consolidate features. It must be built on a robust governance structure and with proper cybersecurity standards and interoperability protocols to future-proof platforms. Now, indeed, it is true that we have so many apps, but then again, if you look at usability point of view, I think it makes sense, for government to consolidate all the services under one single platform now.
Now, it is reported that MyGov Malaysia will use MyDigital ID for single sign-on across the 34 government systems. Are there any cybersecurity risks you foresee, right, when we implement such a nationwide digital ID system?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I mean, central access through a single digital ID increases the attack surface, but a compromised digital ID could potentially expose multiple systems. But however, the risk is manageable if we implement proper, strong multi-factor authentications and continuous threat monitoring, strict access control, and regular security assessments. Now, these are the things that can help us to continuously operate with security in mind.
CF, you brought up a point, which is, great, we have a centralized app now, but how do we get users or Malaysians to actually take it up? Because when it comes to these apps, the take-up rate has been rather low, the usage probably even lower.
Yep. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, is essentially still education and acceptance and public confidence. We have also no shortage of government data leak incidents happen, in the country. So I think the public trust is still the key success factor for the apps to be successful.
And is another factor showing the Malaysian public how useful these apps are, how they can actually make life easier, more convenient, so you don't have to run to 7 different ministries? Is that the key to it?
Yeah, absolutely. Because having everything consolidated into a single platform, indeed, it provide the convenience. I think one of the things that Malaysian, as myself, and still hesitate is because of the end of the day, it's a trust. It's a trust. If the trust can be built, and that's where I think it will be, widely accepted.
What's the optimal design for an app like this? Because this sounds like the goal is to become this one-stop shop. But we've seen, right, that when you end up becoming this one-stop shop, the app looks cluttered, it looks very messy. So how should the government design this app to make sure that it can be easy to navigate and use for the consumer and user?
I think the main consideration for usability would be, put the consumer, put the user as the first priority, because not everyone are IT savvy, not everyone are highly IT educated, and we need to cater for those rural folks, those who are not IT savvy, make the user interface much friendlier. I mean, to add on to this, Malaysia is not the only country is going forwards to one single consolidated platform. Our neighbors, Singapore, China, even Australia, they have similar apps as well.
But CF, the concern is that when you try and put everything into one app, then you're going to call from multiple databases and systems all across. Uptime will be a challenge. Reliability will always be questioned, right? And then people will complain that actually it takes a very long time to process and run applications. How does the government need to address this issue?
Yes, I think this is also the part that I get a bit curious about how the interoperability of the app works. Because are we going to redevelop a new module by itself, or are we going to interact with the existing apps? Like, for example, a lot of Malaysians are using MyJPJ, for example. You know, are MyJPJ functions, is it going to be having an API for the centralized app to access to it, or are we going to develop something new like MyJPJ to integrate as part of the platform? So this is something to be seen. But logically, I think it should be API enabled, and with API enabled, right, it shouldn't have any performance constraints on the platform. So that is something that as a tech user myself, I'm curious to know. And that's why I say that trust has to be built, because so far we haven't seen anything that's like going to any like public consultation or any code sharing or anything like that. So this is something to be seen.
And you say trust. So do you think our current data protection laws are enough, given that MyGOV Malaysia will centralize all these very important sensitive services and information about Malaysian citizens? Like, what changes might be needed to better safeguard our information?
I think we need a better legal reform, because right now PDPA, the Cybersecurity Act, does not apply to the government. I mean, in terms of penalty, does not apply to the government. So meaning that if any government servant who accidentally or with without intention have caused data leak, they are not accountable for. So I think this is also one of the pain point why the trusts are not there.
See, where do you draw the line in terms of the services that MyGov app can offer? You know, one could, wax lyrical and say this could even expand and become even an e-wallet, and that's where the cash bantuan tuan rumah also takes place there. But is that a stretch too far in your view?
Well, I think in real life, we have seen this happen because, like, for example, in China, you can use WeChat or Alipay to access government service. But then again, I would strongly encourage, the local authorities our government to really take things one step at a time. And it's not always good to be overambitious, but at least get the foundation right first. Establish the trust, ensure cybersecurity are in place. We have continuous monitoring so that ensure that the public have the confidence on the app first.
CF, maybe this is a question that's going to put you on the spot, but what's the best and most cost-effective way of rolling out this MyGov app? Because we don't want to be ending up paying, taxpayers paying a huge bill, and then for an app that is redundant, that doesn't work, and the take-up rate is so poor.
I really don't have an answer for this. But then again, I would say that we need more transparency, with this approach, especially now the world is open towards open and transparent. So I think what we need is more transparencies. Like even you have a public consultations, you have a roadmap sharing. Because right now, I don't see there's any long-term roadmap for this app. We don't see a long-term roadmap. It's just like, for instance, we just like now that the government saying that we're going to build one of the largest rest station in the country. Yes. And on what highway, on which highway, where does it lead to? So we need to look at the roadmap, where's the government heading and what are we going to do with that and what are the future plans for this in a more clearer and granular way. I think this will help to boost trust.
Yes, thank you so much for your time. That was CF Fong, CEO of LGMS Berhad. Conceptually, great idea. Execution is key, but like you say, where's the roadmap? Where is this going to lead? Did they consult with many stakeholders? Is it an open tender basis? Are all the different ministries ready to cooperate, to share the data, or is everybody going to work in their silos? Yeah. We have more questions than answers. Keep it here, BFM 89.9.